Hello all, this is a demonstration of my lab 1 for CSE564 visualization. For this assignment, I decided to use world energy consumption data. The source of my data is Kaggle. I made use of two data sets. One is the world energy consumption data and the second is the CO2 and greenhouse gas data. Both these data had two fields that were common, that is country and year. So I made use of those two fields to merge these two data sets. Let's just take a quick look at the data set. So there are totally 17 fields in my data set, 17 attributes. Country and year are the two categorical attributes, and all the other attributes are numerical. Each of these attributes basically gives us information of the electricity consumed from a particular source like coal, fossil, gas, etc. And the last field is basically the emissions data, which tells us the amount of CO2 and greenhouse gases emitted per year from each of these countries. So let's get back to the visualization. So yeah, we have plotted, so I have plotted three graphs, bar chart, histogram, and scatter plot. I'll walk through each of them. So the first plot is a bar graph. For the bar graph, it is necessary that one of the fields be categorical. So basically, if you select X, it populates all the categorical variables, which in my case is year and country. So let's go with year. And then when you select Y, it will populate all the numerical fields. Let's select solar electricity. So yeah, as you can see, over the years, the consumption of solar electricity has increased. So basically, each of these bar gives the cumulative sum of the solar electricity consumed in 2017, and so on. When you hover across these bars, you will get to see the actual value, that is 399.523. Over here, it is 293.29, and so on. I also have another additional feature, which is invert, basically, which will allow you to invert the entire chart. So now your year is on the y-axis and solar electricity is on the x-axis. And as you can see, this is dynamic. So you can select any field and you'll get the chart for that particular field. Let's move on to histogram. So histogram is basically a frequency distribution. So it tells you the frequency of the different types of data or different categories of data. Now, since our data was continuous data, we had to implement binning so that we were able to compute the frequency. So binning helped us to discretize the data. So yeah, as you can see, for gas electricity, from 0 to 50, we have 318 rows. For 50 to 100, we have 149 rows, and so on. Similar to bar chart, we can invert the graph in histogram as well. See, yeah, now the frequency is on the x-axis and my bins are on the y-axis. And my final plot is the scatter plot. In scatter plot, we can have both categorical and numerical values. So if you select X, you'll see that both categorical and numerical fields appear. Select gas electricity. Let's go to Y and let's select renewable electricity. Yeah, so now you can see the distribution between renewable electricity versus gas electricity. So most of the data is in the the density over here is very high. And if you hover over each of these data points, again, you can see the precise value for gas electricity and renewable electricity. This graph as well can be inverted. So now you have renewable electricity on the x-axis and gas electricity on the y-axis. We can also use categorical data to plot the scatter plot. So now you can see it looks similar to the bar graphs, but except instead of having bars, you actually have the exact records that are present in the data. Thank you.